was talking to a friend of mine, a dude named Dez, who was basically talking about our culture. He was like, man, it looks like our culture is kind of messed up. And I started thinking about it. When you say our culture, what really do you mean? A series of traits. When you talk about culture, you're talking about hundreds of years of history and traditions that we have brought from a long time ago. But we don't really have that. We don't have a extensive history. When we came over here, I'm talking about American black people. We have history otherwise, but American black people, we came over here in a jacked up situation. We were forced to leave names, any traditions, languages, clothing, anything that said us, made us, unique people was left and destroyed. We don't even have our names. My name is a German name. Do I look German to you? It's nothing about it. So we weren't able to do or have any cultures that are our own, or any kind of traditions. We put up Christmas trees in December. It's supposed to be for the birth of Christ. What does that have to do with ornaments, Santa Claus, and a green pine needle tree? But it doesn't have anything. Easter, we do that because this person died and rose 3 days later. But what happened with the Easter Bunny? Why Easter Bunny doesn't lay eggs, right? There's no eggs. What is that all about? We don't even know. We have taken other people's traditions and just kind of folded it into our own and don't really ask questions on it. They try to say, rap and stuff like that. Rap is about 50 years old at its oldest, about 50 years old. That's not a culture, So basically, when you, in America, and you look at, our culture, if you will, you imagine having 5 people, 4 of those people are, 80 years old, and one of them is 3 years old. The 80-year-old, they're going to have a history. They're going to have, things that they've been doing for years. They have ways they do things, that they know about. They've been doing it for so long. But then you got the 3-year-old. That would be us. We don't really have a history. Yeah, we have traits in common. Like, say, for example, somewhere in your house, I guarantee you got a box, a drawer, a bag or something that's full of Winn-Dixie bags or Walmart bags or wherever you shop or whatever the case may be. But we got that. Somewhere you got a bowl or some Tupperware that's actually a butter dish, a country crock butter dish or something like that we use. Those are just, traits that we have in common. That's not a culture. A culture goes back, hundreds of years. And I was talking to a lack of culture may be a big part of our problem in our community. Jewish people, they have this thing called a bar mitzvah. I believe that's what it's called, a bar mitzvah, where they take a little boy and they say, from this point on, they have a ceremony, a party, however you want to call it, and they say, from this point on, you are now a man. And it's not just a ceremony. It says, all of the people in his family are going to look at him like a man. They force him. You are a man. You have to start behaving like a man. They start treating him like a man. Now, according to the outer, our outer environment, he's not a man. He's a 13-year-old. But they treat him like a man. He has to behave like a man. By the time he actually is a man by society standards, he's into this thing. He's got this thing under wraps. He's a man by all intents and purposes. Nobody can say he's not a man. Whereas in our households and things like that, we don't have any kind of tradition. There's no task we must complete to say you're a man now. We don't have to go out there and kill a lion or have a party or anything like that says, okay, yesterday you was a boy, today you're a man. We don't have anything like that. So that's why you wind up with a 28-year-old or 30-year-old man laying on his mama couch. She's telling him to do stuff, and he's like, man, you can't tell me what to do. I'm a man. How do you figure you're a man? What criteria says you are a man? Because your body is grown, is grown to its maximum proportions. That's not what makes a man. We can all agree that that's not what makes a man. But he feels like he's a man, even though he's accomplished no task. He doesn't, he doesn't raise his family. He doesn't, provide the things that we would attribute to a man. So he doesn't have it. And so they love to say our culture is just screwed up, or you get that, but we don't have a culture. When we were able to start making a culture, we talking about like what the 70s, 80s, Jim Crow. just ended in the 80s. And we still got a lot of laws on the book. So even before that, anything that was us, they stumped that out. We got to read their books. We are, on Sundays, yeah, you're going to be very religious because you get a break. As a slave, you're going to be very religious because you get a break on Sundays. If that's where I need to get a break. When I was in the Army, I went to a different religious ceremony every Sunday. Why? Because I wasn't cleaning the barracks. If you go to church, you had to clean the barracks. So I went different churches, just to see how things was. Long story short, I don't think we really have a culture. We have traits that we have in common and things like that, but we have not had enough time to build a culture. And we've been so far removed from, our ancestors, which they cut us off, so we don't know exactly where we're from. Africa is a whole continent. It's not a country where you're from. So we've been cut off from that. We don't have a history. We're creating it now. And so you got a little infantile group of people just learning. We didn't have hundreds of years to build on. We're starting this shit from scratch. Something to think about. That's it.